In this video, you're going to learn how to add a new client or contact into the HubSpot Customer Relations Management software. Stay tuned. How you doing? My name is Jacob Billett. I'm the CEO of Billett Enterprises, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about adding a new contact onto your HubSpot CRM. Now, if you've never logged into the HubSpot CRM, if you're an owner, you will have an address, an email address that you've registered to because you are the owner of the account. If you're an employee of an account or an independent contractor of an account, whoever you're working for will have sent you the information of the email address that they have registered you to give you access to the HubSpot CRM. So what you're going to do is you're going to use those credentials and you're going to log into HubSpot. When HubSpot populates, you're going to go ahead and go to the contact section. Now, this is the desktop version. So the desktop and the mobile application is a little bit different, but the principles are the exact same. There'll just be a different icon on your mobile device, typically on the lower right-hand side, that will have a plus icon on it, and that's where you will load your new contact. So on the desktop version, you're going to go to contacts, you're going to select contacts, it's going to populate the contacts that you have the authority to go in and edit. So based on what your rating is, or what your ranking is, or what your privileges are within this company, will show you who you can and who you cannot edit. Now, as a salesperson, you will be able to manage your own contacts that you put into the system, or contacts that have been given to you by upper management or marketing, contacts that are assigned to you. So you're going to go to your contacts page and you're going to click on the create content button on the right hand side. You're going to select that. It's going to populate. Now, each individual employer is going to be a little bit different. So some employers are going to have mandatory fields that you have to fill in for you to successfully create this contact. So we're going to go ahead and enter in customer123@gmail.com. We're going to enter in our first name, which is going to be test1, last name customer2. Going to give a phone number, and that phone number is just going to be a made-up phone number. Mobile number as well. The biggest thing with CRM tools is you want to make sure that you enter in as much client data as humanly possible. That will help you. That helps the marketing team. That helps everybody who's creating this operation to making this operation grow, and also to feed you more leads as well. So mobile phone number will do the same. Street address 123 Main Streets. City Metro Town. State, Colorado, let's do 80051. Contact owner. Now, if this is a contact that you have sourced, this is a contact that's going to be on your profile, then you would be the contact owner. If you are somebody else in the organization, if you're marketing, if you're just bringing this lead, the contact owner, you can come in as unassigned. And when you come in as unassigned, then it's going to be up to management or whoever to direct this contact, or assign this contact to somebody within the organization structure. And so again, if it's your contact, you're going to go ahead and assign it to yourself. And now here comes the sourcing. So there's multiple sources, and sourcing is extremely important for organizations so they can qualify their expenses, they can qualify where their money is being sent, and making sure that they know that what they're paying for is working for their company. So sourcing is extremely, extremely important. So it's everybody's individual responsibility to source their inbound or their contacts correctly. So you have organic source. So organic sources are going to be the sources that come in that kind of find it on their own. They're not from paid sources. They're not from paid searches. They're organic search traffic that comes into the company. Paid searches are people that have clicked on ads. These are Google ads, AdSense ads. These are not social media ads. They have their own section. But paid searches are from people that come in from ads that are generated that the company is paying for. Then you have email marketing. Email marketing is from your marketing team. So this is going to be email blasts. This is going to be follow-up campaigns to people that have not been closed. These are all going to be campaigns that are done typically at the marketing division level of the company. Then you have social media. These are organic social media. So this is the company making a post, and from that organic post, and there's no paid boosting, there's no paid ads on that at all. They're coming in on a post, either an update or a holiday thing, or just general organic posting within social media. Social media includes your Facebook, your Instagrams, your Twitters, your YouTube. All of that is social media. And then you have referrals. Referrals are extremely important because companies offer referral bonuses to new existing customers, as well as for family, friends, the whole 9 yards. And so when you come in and you put a referral designation on this contact, make sure in the notes of this contact profile that you distinguish who that referral actually was. And so that company can go ahead and give their referral bonus to the appropriate individual. Other campaigns are going to be campaigns that are not outlined within this drop-down menu. Then you have direct traffic. Direct traffic is, again, non-paid web traffic, as well as walk-ins would qualify under this. And then you have offline sources, and walk-ins can also be an offline source as well, depending on how your business is structured, how they want to track their traffic sources. But offline sources as well could be, anything like flyers, canvassing areas, stuff like that can be offline sources. And then paid social is paid social media. So paid social media ads, targeted demographic campaigns, stuff like that. And so you want to go ahead and designate this profile or this contact based on where it was sourced, where it came in, so the company knows what's working and they can track it better. The better data, better information you put into these CRMs, the more the allocated expenses for these companies are going to be able to be used effectively, and so people can move on. The company can grow and do the right thing. So we're going to make this a direct traffic source. And then lead status. Lead status is also a really big thing. So obviously new is going to be new leads that are coming in. Open, and again, depending on how your organization is, an open lead would be somebody who may turn to an opportunity. They're open to an offer of what your company has. Then you have in progress. So typically an in progress would be somebody that's currently being worked on by sales. However, there has been no offer delivered to this contact. And again, if this is a new contact, you'll typically go ahead and put new in, and then you're going to work the contact from there. Or you have an open deal. So this is an open deal customer that has been delivered or presented a deal or offer, and it has not been closed yet. And then you also have unqualified, and so this is somebody that would not qualify for services, either financially, or they didn't qualify for a program or a product. And so that would be marked as unqualified. Attempted to contact, meaning that you're bringing this new contact. You've tried to get a hold of them. You've not been able to contact them, but you're just recording this new contact into the database. So this could be maybe forwarded to marketing or whatever your business structure is. Then you have connected. So you have these contacts that have been connected. Somebody has spoken to them. They have replied to something, and so they have been connected with, but again, they have not been worked. And then bad timing would be somebody that would say, no, I'm not interested in services. I'm not interested to do this. However, I may be interested in a month, 2 months, 5 months, a year, whichever. So you'll go ahead and put in bad timing, and then you would task something to remind either yourself or the sales team or the marketing team to follow up with this customer and reach out to them when it's going to be better time for them. So again, the majority of the time it's going to be a new contact. You put in new, you click create contact, and then you're going to go ahead and go to the contact profile screen. And I will go ahead and address how to manage this and how to input data and record things on your client profile screen here in the next video.